Pinterest has always been my source of inspiration for Minecraft builds, but I fear that in the past like 2 years or so, it has been plagued with AI, and unfortunately that includes Minecraft AI. So today I thought that we could recreate some builds and see if they actually work. So this is the first build that we're gonna try recreating. I've seen this picture many times while scrolling, so I say let's give it a try and see if it actually works. I think I found the perfect area right here in the jungle. I think I'll build it in this island right here, just because in the picture everything's surrounded by water. So I'll try to make it as close as possible to the actual AI picture. Let me tear down this tree first so we can actually start building. So from what I can see, I think it's just like a square house on top of a custom trunk, like a custom tree trunk. So I think that we can start with the tree trunk first, but it's so weird. The tree trunk has a wood type that seems like a combo of oak and jungle. I think I'll go with jungle though. The thing is, it kind of sprouts up using that same wood type, but obviously we don't have that, so I think I'll use stairs and slabs, like spruce stairs and slabs, to blend everything together. I'll also grab the other jungle wood just in case. So judging by the picture, there seems to be an entrance in the middle of the trunk, and it starts out thinner at the bottom and then it gets wider as it goes up. So I think I'm gonna start with a 3x3. I think it has to be like that tall, the entrance be like right here, and then this is where the house starts. I think the trunk wasn't actually that hard. I was just having trouble with it because how you normally build a custom tree, usually the base of the tree is the widest, and as it goes up it sprouts and it gets thinner. But you can see the picture is actually the opposite, so it looked quite weird while I was making it, but I was just trying to follow the picture as closely as possible, so you'll see later on how it turns out. So right here it looks weird. There's a lot of gaps I need to fill. I don't know if that looks good. It looks so weird. Like, it looks like that episode of SpongeBob where they're like cavemen, like SpongeGore and Patar are like hitting each other with a stick. It looks like that stick. But anyways, okay, let's try to make it look like a tree at least. So I think that's as good as I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna go in with some of the spruce just to make it look a little bit more blended in together. Okay, so I think we can actually start with the house. I'm definitely gonna use oak for the roof, and then the fencing and the bridges also look like oak. That wood for the actual house, I think I might go with pale oak, but I think it's too white actually. Like the one in the reference picture is a little bit more warm, but we don't have anything like that unless I use birch, but I feel like that's too yellow. So I might go with pale oak. I don't know why I grabbed stairs. I'm supposed to grab planks. For the corner bits, I think I'm gonna use just regular oak logs. Let me try to make the house layout first to get everything in order. There's at least like 5 blocks of window panes, and then maybe like 1 or 2 blocks in between the glass and the oak pillar. So what I decided to go for was a square 11 by 11. It was pretty simple, but I can't count, so I was struggling just getting rid of it and shifting it like a couple of blocks to the side just so it fits properly around the trunk. You can just see me going back and forth, but since everything was symmetrical, that was pretty easy. I just made the same thing for all 4 sides, so it wasn't that hard. I'm also gonna have to guess what it's like on the back because we only have like this angle, so I'm just gonna make it symmetrical. I'm gonna do the same thing on all sides. I'll try to do the outline of the house first. So I think it's just like an A line. Oh, thank God there's a middle. Otherwise I would have cried if there wasn't a middle. The stair, it's an upside down stair, but like in between the blocks. Like, I don't know how to explain that, but it's like a half a block down. I think we can place an upside down stair and maybe a slab. Yeah, I think that's good. And then right here it kind of goes like this where I think it's easier for you to see if you see it side to side. I was really struggling with the top window specifically because it looks like it's a block further in than the rest of the wall, but at the same time it's at the same level as the wall. So I don't know how to explain that. So I thought there was an inner outline of oak stairs in front of the wall where the top window is. There's a beam going across of oak planks. It looks like a full block, but there's a shadow underneath. So I think I ended up using stairs instead, but I think I left it like this for the time being. Either way, I was really confused by the wall, so I decided to take my mind off it for a bit and started work on the balconies. I don't know if the porch is supposed to be a square or a circle. I don't know if it's... I think I'm going to do a circle, like kind of just round it off, to be honest. Not really a circle. I'm just gonna round it off. So I think like that. Maybe another layer right here. Like this, I think. Thing is, oh, like right here, what's bothering me is that there's like 2 layers of oak. Let me switch this up upside down stairs like this. It still doesn't look completely right. Okay, wait. The glass panes can go right here and then fill that in with... Wait, no, what? So this window is on the same level as these blocks right here, but also behind these ones. I think I'm gonna put them back because they look better. Okay, so I'm gonna place those slabs like right there. And I think that's where the lanterns are. I mean, it doesn't look right, but that's how the picture is. And that's just one side. Oh, I think there's like some sort of light coming from here. So I think I'm gonna place a lantern right there. Okay, let me try to make the rest of the roof just how we did this one. And then we'll modify this side. I'm doing this voiceover like 2 days after I built the thing, so I can say this was by far the easiest part of recreating the AI build. I filled the entire thing with oak stairs. That wasn't really a problem. I was a little bit concerned about the side of the house. I thought that it was going to be a lot more difficult than it actually was. I just got rid of the section where I thought the roof was going to go, and I made another set of stairs to make the A-line of the roof. Apart from the slabs on the very top, that's it. Like everything else is just stairs, and they connected perfectly, so there was no issues with that. I was so happy. And once I figured that out, it was pretty easy to just replicate the entire thing on the backside. I was expecting the roof to be a lot more difficult than it actually was, so this was a really pleasant surprise. Okay, it doesn't look that bad actually. And then this area, there's like 4 sets of stairs, but that's just not gonna happen. I think I'm gonna place some blocks right here, place a set of stairs right there. Okay, so I think that's as close as we can get. And then there's also like this lantern situation, so I think it's like right there, like right here with some lanterns. This balcony looks a little bit more square. Then I don't see fences right here. I kind of just see them like like right there in the middle, but I think I'll connect them anyway just for consistency. Okay, so it doesn't look that bad. I just finished making all 4 sides. Now there's a lot of bridges going on, but I think we can do that. We don't have any other trees to connect it to. I mean, neither does this really. I have no idea what it's connecting to. Like, they don't connect to anything. The only ones that do are this one in the corner that kind of just connects to not really a tree, maybe like a tree slash rock, I think. So I'm gonna try to make this connect maybe to like this tree or like that tree over there. Oh god, that's not gonna be possible, I think. I'm gonna try to grow another tree like right here. Yeah, actually the other one's perfect. I think I'm gonna use oak just to keep it, because it kind of looks like the same color as the roof, and I'm pretty sure the roof is supposed to be oak. For the rope bridges, I just focused on connecting both sides like to the tree. Then I figured out the middle and made it go down gradually. That was pretty easy. I was gonna make it 2 blocks wide just because in the picture it looks pretty narrow, but then I noticed that it wasn't gonna be wide enough to place fences on both sides, so I made it 3 wide, and now there's just a 1 block space for you to walk on. And then on the right, I just decided to grow another tree so it can connect to something. It made that bridge just go down. It doesn't go up and down like the other one. And for the fencing, I noticed that obviously I wasn't going to be able to place a fence on top of those slabs, so I decided to try a bunch of things. In the picture, it looks like there's rope, so I decided to do the next best thing, which was leads. I was hoping that I could do some trick with a boat and the lead, but it wasn't really working out. I tried trapdoors and I didn't really like that at first, so I decided to try some fence gates, and I didn't like how the fence gates were floating, so I decided to scrap that. So I ended up going back to the trapdoors because I could adjust the height a little bit more. And I know it's not like super accurate to the photo, but I do think now that the trapdoors do look best. Actually, okay, from afar, if you squint and you look at it from afar, it doesn't look that bad. But I think the only thing that's left is some vines. It's because we don't have vines like those. I think I'm gonna use glowberries instead. Then my issue with this one, that in the picture you can see a bunch of vines going along the side of the fences and also some of the slabs, but you can't actually place those in Minecraft. So I resorted to just placing them wherever I could. You can see the entire build is pretty lush and overgrown. So I also went down the entire trunk and placed a bunch of vines everywhere. I just let those spread on their own, and that was pretty much it for the vines. Almost done. I think one of the last things that I want to do is just make the landscape look like the picture. So there's a lot of lily pads, there's a lot of flowers as well. So I'll be back in a sec. For the landscape, I just terraformed the grass a little bit. And in the picture, there's a bunch of flowers that don't really exist. But I did see some like blue pixels, so I decided to place some blue orchids. There's also a bunch of rocks everywhere, so I decided to place some stones, some stone buttons as well. And that was the landscaping. I decided to also make a few more additional bridges just to make it match the picture a little bit more. I made the other bridge that was on the left side of the picture. And that bridge doesn't lead to anywhere. It's just kind of floating up there. But you'll see in the later angle, I feel like it looks so good. And then the final touch was that bridge at the back. That one was going to be very long if I didn't place that 2x2 jungle tree there at the back. But yeah, I'm so excited. You're gonna see the final result in a few seconds. And I would like to give myself a pat on the back. I feel like it looks really accurate to the photo. So yeah, you're gonna see the final result. Okay, so I just finished adding a bunch of stuff just to make it look a little bit more like the picture. I added this other bridge right here that just cuts off. But you know, it's kind of accurate to the AI picture. Let me actually fix the angle. I think it might be like that. So there we go. I think that's the angle. So on the left we have the AI version, and then on the right we have the actual Minecraft version. So this build in particular, I think it gets like a 7 out of 10 on a difficulty to recreate scale. I think the hardest part was the walls, just because it doesn't, like, nothing matches to each other. And I mean like this wall specifically, like this area right here. And then also the shape of the tree. To be honest, I thought that it looked worse when I first started, and now seeing the final product, I don't think it looks that bad. Maybe not a 7 out of 10, maybe just like a 7.8. I think that's good. This next AI build, I've also seen it quite a lot. And to be honest, I saw it the first time and I actually thought it was a Minecraft build. So this one is a gazebo on the water. And I think this one's going to be a little bit more hard because I can't really tell what's going on for the roof. So I think I'm gonna use some spruce logs, and I have this little area right here, like shallow water. I think I'm gonna build it like in this little nook right here. I feel like I have to start off with the floor. I think it's like 2 blocks above the water. It cuts off, so I can't really tell where it's going to. But I think I'm just gonna make like a rectangle like this, and then the perspective is going to be from this side. So I decided to make like the dock slash platform part first. I just wanted to make sure that the gazebo was going to fit. So I estimated that the pillars of the gazebo were gonna be like 5 blocks apart. So a 7x7 in total. I didn't really measure the platform itself. I just made sure that the pillars were gonna fit in. And if you see the picture, the platform itself is so messy. I couldn't really tell what was going on. So a lot of this build was just winging it. I've made docks and platforms like this before, so it wasn't really that difficult to do. But I feel like if you're just basing it off the picture, you can't really do it. You can't really recreate it. But you can see in a sec, I was just really confused by the entire platform. And I can kind of tell that these are like upside down stairs somehow. like this maybe. Like if I look at it from this angle, which is how it's supposed to be, I think that's it. And then there's some stilts right here with some logs. Also, I don't know where they are. They're just kind of randomly placed. And then there's somehow like 7 pillars for this part. Actually, I'm gonna make this entire thing 1 block higher. Switch that around, and then this way we can actually place a fence underneath. So we have a fence right here in the corner. Maybe I'll place another one over here. This one, oh, it's going to connect. I don't think that's that bad. Then here at the bottom, I'm also gonna connect these, because I feel like that's how it's supposed to be. You know what? For the dock part, I'm gonna keep it like this. I'm just gonna move on to the gazebo. So 5 blocks tall seems about right. I know that it's supposed to be a circle. Like if you look at it closely, it's just like a jumble of blocks. Like it looks like a mess of stairs and slabs, to be honest. And it was actually, I wish I could tell you what I did, but I'm not even that sure. Like I said before, I knew that I had to be a circle, so I just decided to make the rough shape of it. But you can see me pausing a lot of times where I just don't know what to do. And I kind of felt lost with this one, just because I couldn't even follow anything. So I just decided to make it like a dome, like a really flat dome. I truly just mixed in a bunch of stairs and slabs until it looked good. But then unfortunately it was time to make the second part of the gazebo. And I have to make sure that I keep some space here in the center for the other part of the gazebo. So I think actually it might be perfect to have them right here in the corners. For the top part of the gazebo, I think that was the part where I struggled the most with this build. There was a 3 block gap in between the pillars, so a 5x5 in total, and that part wasn't really the issue. My problem was the roof. It just didn't look right. I fiddled with it so many times, I just couldn't get it right. The angle of the roof wasn't really matching the picture, and that was really bothering me, but I didn't know why or like how to fix it. So either way, I was starting to get frustrated with that part of the roof, so I decided to leave it for the time being and just move on to something else. Now, the gap in between these logs right here, I have no idea. Like I can see the vines going down, but I have no idea what's in between. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab some oak stairs. I mean some oak trapdoors, I think. And then I can flip those like this, and maybe I can place a full block right here. I think that's the closest as we can get, because I have no idea like That's not even a texture, it's just some pixels. I'm not satisfied with the roof. I think it's supposed to be like right here instead. It's a lot steeper in the photo, so I feel like I have to make it look like that. I started working on the rest of the platform that I left unfinished. I added all the fences. I did add some spruce trapdoors on top of the fences because it looks like there's something connected to them at the top, but I didn't really show a clip of that, so I'm saying it right now. But yeah, the only thing that I could kind of follow was the front part. The back part, I just completely winged it, to be honest. Since I didn't really know what was happening in the back, I just decided to connect it to the rest of the land around the gazebo. But you can kind of tell in the picture that there's like something more, like there's more space to the platform. So that's why I made it so big here at the back. I just didn't know what I was supposed to do with that part. So hopefully my guesses were correct. And then finally, I just made like a little peninsula connecting to the rest of the land because I can kind of see in the picture that it wasn't just water. There was some plants there. So I was just trying to make sure that everything looked at least similar to the picture. Then for the ceiling of the gazebo, I just winged it. The goal was just trying to make it look symmetrical on all sides. I could tell that there were some vines, so I decided to place a bunch of glowberries and also some leaves. And then finally, I decided to tackle the roof again. And that wasn't really working, so I decided to just tear down the entire thing. This time I made it a 3x3 instead of a 5x5. Then I found a culprit. It was those upside down stairs that I was placing in the corners, just because in the picture there's upside down stairs, but they were just too big for the roof, like in Minecraft. So the moment that I got rid of them and replaced them with some open fence gates, it was like I was enlightened. Everything just looked so much better. But then I noticed on the roof of the gazebo there were some leaves. Truly, they were just like green pixels. So from what I could tell, I think the roof was open and those green pixels were leaves poking out from the inside of the gazebo, if that makes sense. So I made the roof have a little bit of a gap and some of the leaves peeking through. And I think that was it. I think that was a final iteration of the roof. And I was so happy with it. I feel like it finally looked somewhat close to the picture at least. But yeah, all that was left was to decorate the landscape, and I was so ready to call this build done. I think the last thing that I need to do is just to add like a bunch of flowers everywhere. I think the closest thing that we have to that flower is like ideally I think that would be like a tulip, like a white tulip, but like double tall. Or maybe I can use some lilacs. I think I'm just gonna do a bunch of lilacs and then also some tulips to bring in some of that white. Okay, let's try to make it nighttime. So I feel like in the picture, let's do just night and see what it looks like. What about 13,500? Oh, okay. Okay, so my FOB is at 60. What if I change my shaders? Because my shaders they're complementary reimagined, but I can change it to the other one, Unbound. Okay, so I think that's pretty accurate. So on the left, we have the AI picture, and on the right, we have the Minecraft version. This one was surprisingly so much harder than the first one. And then this one, compared to the other one, is more heavily reliant on the shaders. Like if I turn them off, this is how it looks like. I mean, it doesn't look that bad still. I think it's still quite a cute build, but to make it look like the picture, you just have to have shaders. Otherwise, it just doesn't look that similar. So this build on the difficulty recreation scale, I'll give it like a 3. Like, it was really difficult to do. I didn't even explain. Like, like 1 being the most difficult and 10 being the easiest. So even though I'm drained, this was pretty fun, actually. Especially this one. I think it had its things. Like, of course, the rope bridge was not gonna be the same. But at least the house did look like Minecraft. This one, I feel like it was, like, something is still off. I think it's the fences. The fences don't have the log texture. And I feel like it's throwing off the entire thing. But either way, I feel like it still looks pretty good. So, this was pretty fun. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next video.